A mature man rarely announces what he needs the most. Instead, he shows up quietly, handling responsibilities, solving problems, and trying to be the steady presence others rely on. Over time, this pattern becomes part of his identity. He learns to measure his value by what he accomplishes rather than by how he feels. Yet beneath that composed surface is a simple human desire that often goes unnoticed. Before anything else, he wants his sense of worth to be acknowledged, not with exaggerated praise or constant compliments, but with sincere recognition. When someone notices the effort he puts into his work, the consistency in his actions, or the way he tries to protect and support the people in his life, it touches something deep within him. Many men grow up believing they must simply perform without expecting emotional validation in return. Because of that, they sometimes do not even realize how meaningful genuine appreciation can be. When it appears, it has a powerful effect. It softens the guarded parts of his personality and makes him feel seen rather than simply evaluated. In that moment, he understands that his presence matters beyond the roles he fulfills. What makes this recognition so powerful is that it reaches a place many men rarely allow others to see. A mature man may appear confident and emotionally steady, but much of that strength comes from years of learning how to carry pressure quietly. Expectations from family, work, and society often shape his belief that he must always be capable and dependable. Because of this, he rarely stops to question whether the effort he gives is truly noticed. When someone acknowledges the intention behind what he does, it reassures him that his efforts are not invisible. It tells him that the person beside him understands that responsibility can be heavy, even when it is carried with confidence. This type of recognition does not inflate his ego. Instead, it grounds him. It reminds him that his contributions have meaning and that the person who sees them values him as a whole individual. In relationships, this moment often becomes a turning point. When a man feels that his effort is genuinely recognized, he naturally becomes more open and emotionally present. He begins to invest more energy into the connection because he senses that what he gives will not go unnoticed or unappreciated. This is why touching a man's sense of worth often opens the door to deeper emotional connection. When appreciation is sincere, it encourages him to relax the constant pressure to prove himself. Instead of feeling that he must always demonstrate his value, he begins to experience the relationship as a place where he can simply be himself. This shift allows his personality to show more fully. He becomes more expressive with his thoughts, more willing to share his goals, and more comfortable revealing the quieter sides of his character. Over time, this sense of being valued creates trust and emotional safety. The relationship stops feeling like a performance and starts feeling like a partnership. What many people overlook is that mature men are not searching for constant admiration. They are searching for authenticity. They want to know that the person beside them sees the real effort behind their actions. When that recognition is present, it touches the first emotional layer that allows everything else in the relationship to grow stronger and more meaningful. Respect is one of the deepest emotional points in the heart of a mature man, yet it is often misunderstood. Many people assume respect means agreeing with everything he says or placing him in a position of authority. In reality, respect is much simpler and much more powerful than that. It is the feeling that his voice matters and that his thoughts are taken seriously. A mature man spends much of his life making decisions, carrying responsibilities, and trying to move forward with integrity. Because of this, when someone truly listens to him and considers his perspective, it touches a place inside him that goes beyond surface-level appreciation. It communicates that he is valued not only for what he provides, but also for the way he thinks and approaches life. When a man feels respected, he naturally becomes more engaged in the relationship. He speaks more openly, he listens more carefully, and he begins to treat the connection as a partnership rather than a situation where he must constantly prove himself. Respect quietly strengthens his confidence and encourages him to show the thoughtful and attentive side of his character. What makes respect so powerful is that it creates emotional balance within the relationship. A mature man does not want to feel as though he must compete for influence or defend his position constantly. When respect is present, conversations feel calmer and more constructive. Instead of turning into arguments about who is right, discussions become opportunities to understand each other better. This environment allows him to share ideas and concerns without feeling that his perspective will be dismissed immediately. Over time, this sense of mutual regard builds trust and stability. It tells him that the person beside him believes in his judgment and sees him as a capable partner in life. That belief often inspires him to rise to an even higher standard in the way he communicates and makes decisions. Rather than withdrawing or becoming defensive, he becomes more patient and more willing to consider the needs and feelings of the other person. There is another important reason respect touches a mature man so deeply. Many men grow up in environments where emotional expression is limited, but personal dignity is highly valued. Because of this, respect becomes one of the clearest signals that a relationship is healthy and supportive. When a man senses that he is respected, he feels secure enough to invest more of himself into the connection. He becomes more protective of the relationship, more attentive to the needs of his partner, and more committed to building a stable future together. This does not happen because he feels obligated, but because respect naturally awakens his desire to contribute and protect what he values. In many ways, respect becomes the bridge between independence and partnership. It allows him to maintain his sense of identity while also feeling deeply connected to another person. When that balance exists, the relationship grows stronger with time, built not on pressure or expectation, but on genuine regard for one another. Trust is one of the most powerful emotional experiences a mature man can feel in a relationship, yet it is often underestimated. Many people think trust is simply about believing someone will not betray you, but for a man, it goes much deeper than that. Trust is the quiet message that says, "I believe in your character, and I believe you will handle things with integrity." A mature man carries many expectations in life. He is often expected to solve problems, make responsible decisions, and remain calm under pressure. Because of these expectations, he rarely hears words that show confidence in his intentions. When someone openly trusts him, it touches a deep sense of responsibility inside him. It communicates that the person beside him believes he will act with honesty and care. This belief becomes motivating rather than burdensome. Instead of feeling controlled or doubted, he feels encouraged to live up to that trust. In that moment, the relationship stops feeling like a place where he must constantly defend himself and starts feeling like a place where he can stand with confidence. What makes trust even more meaningful is the emotional freedom it creates. When a man feels that someone truly trusts him, he experiences a sense of calm that allows him to be more open and present. Without trust, a relationship often becomes filled with small doubts and quiet suspicions. Those doubts can slowly build distance between two people, even when they care about each other. But when trust exists, the atmosphere changes completely. Conversations become more honest, decisions become more cooperative, and the connection feels stronger. A mature man who feels trusted does not feel the need to prove his loyalty constantly. Instead, he becomes more attentive and thoughtful in the way he behaves. Trust invites him to show the best parts of his character because he understands that someone believes those qualities already exist within him. Over time, this belief strengthens his emotional commitment to the relationship. Trust also touches another important aspect of a man's identity, his desire to be dependable. Many mature men take pride in being someone others can rely on during uncertain moments. When a partner shows genuine trust, it affirms that this reliability is recognized and valued. This affirmation often encourages him to become even more consistent in his actions. He begins to think more carefully about how his choices affect the relationship because he does not want to break the confidence that has been placed in him. In many ways, trust becomes the foundation that supports every other emotional element within the relationship. Appreciation, respect, and communication all grow stronger when trust is present. Without it, even strong feelings can feel unstable. But when trust exists, a mature man feels secure enough to invest his time, his energy, and his loyalty into the connection. It becomes clear to him that he is not just expected to perform a role, but that he is believed in as a person. Emotional safety is something many mature men desire, yet very few openly talk about it. From a young age, many men are taught that strength means silence, that responsibility means carrying burdens without complaint, and that vulnerability should remain hidden. Over time, this belief becomes deeply rooted. A man learns to handle pressure quietly, to solve problems without asking for help, and to protect others from seeing his doubts. On the surface, this can make him appear calm and unshakable. But beneath that composure is a simple human need to feel safe expressing what he truly thinks and feels. Emotional safety is the environment where he does not have to worry about being judged, mocked, or misunderstood when he opens up. When someone creates that space for him, it touches a part of his heart that has often been guarded for years. In that moment, he realizes that the relationship is not just about responsibilities and expectations, but also about understanding and acceptance. When a mature man begins to feel emotionally safe with someone, something subtle yet powerful begins to change in his behavior. The walls he has built over time start to lower, little by little. Instead of keeping everything inside, he becomes more willing to share his thoughts, his concerns, and even the uncertainties he usually hides from the world. This does not happen instantly, because trust and comfort grow gradually. But when he senses that the person beside him listens without rushing to criticize or dismiss his feelings, he becomes more open. Emotional safety encourages honesty in a way that pressure never can. It tells him that he does not have to perform strength every moment of the day. He can simply be human. In relationships where this kind of safety exists, communication becomes deeper and more meaningful. Conversations are not just about daily routines or surface topics. They become opportunities to understand each other on a deeper emotional level. The presence of emotional safety also strengthens the bond between two people in ways that are often invisible but incredibly powerful. A mature man who feels safe expressing himself tends to invest more fully in the relationship. He becomes more attentive, more supportive, and more willing to share his inner world. This openness builds trust and creates a sense of partnership that goes beyond ordinary interaction. It allows both people to face challenges together rather than dealing with them alone. Over time, emotional safety transforms the relationship into a place of comfort and stability. Instead of feeling like he must always be the one holding everything together, a man begins to feel that he has someone who understands and stands beside him. That feeling is deeply meaningful because it reminds him that connection is not only about strength and responsibility, it is also about acceptance, patience, and the freedom to be fully understood. Admiration is a subtle yet profoundly impactful experience for a mature man. Unlike simple praise, which can feel fleeting or superficial, admiration communicates genuine recognition for who he is and the effort he puts into life. It is the awareness that someone sees not only his actions, but also the character behind those actions. A mature man often invests heavily in his responsibilities, relationships, and personal growth, sometimes without expecting acknowledgement in return. When someone admires him sincerely, it validates his commitment to becoming a better person and strengthens his motivation to continue growing. This recognition touches a place in him that is rarely addressed because society often emphasizes results over intentions. Admiration tells him that the person observing him values his dedication, his integrity, and his quiet perseverance. It becomes an emotional reinforcement, reminding him that the effort he makes in daily life is meaningful and appreciated. This type of acknowledgement encourages him to continue pursuing growth, not for external approval, but because he feels understood and valued at a fundamental level. What makes admiration particularly powerful is that it inspires without imposing pressure. Many men carry the weight of expectations from family, work, and society. These expectations can sometimes create a sense of obligation rather than fulfillment. Genuine admiration, however, communicates belief in his abilities and character, which instills a sense of pride without the anxiety of needing to prove himself constantly. When someone admires a mature man for his dedication, decision-making, or thoughtful behavior, it nurtures his confidence and reinforces his self-worth. This acknowledgement is often quiet and understated, but it resonates deeply. It allows him to feel seen in a way that goes beyond superficial achievements. Admiration becomes a mirror reflecting his positive qualities back to him, helping him recognize the value he already possesses, which he might overlook in the daily demands of life. In relationships, this kind of admiration strengthens emotional bonds and encourages him to contribute with sincerity rather than obligation. Admiration also fosters a deeper sense of connection. When a mature man feels admired, he experiences a unique combination of being seen and understood. He feels that someone is paying attention to the intentions behind his actions and valuing them without judgment. This emotional recognition creates a sense of intimacy that is often more powerful than words or gestures alone. It encourages him to open up, share more of his thoughts and aspirations, and engage more fully in the relationship. Over time, admiration builds trust, respect, and emotional closeness. It reminds him that he is appreciated for who he truly is, not only for what he does. In this way, admiration touches a profound part of a man's inner world. It validates his journey, acknowledges his efforts, and nurtures a sense of purpose and belonging that strengthens both his self-identity and the relationships he cherishes. Support is one of the most quietly powerful ways to touch a mature man's heart. Many men grow up believing that asking for help is a sign of weakness, and they carry the weight of their responsibilities alone. Over time, this builds a sense of self-reliance that is both a strength and a shield. However, beneath that independence is a deep need to feel that someone stands beside him during life's challenges. Support is not about solving every problem or taking over responsibilities. It is about being present in a way that communicates, "I am here and I believe in your ability to handle this, but you are not alone." When a mature man experiences this kind of support, it touches an emotional layer that many people never notice. It reassures him that his struggles are understood and that his value does not decrease because he faces difficulties. Steady, thoughtful support builds trust and emotional closeness, allowing him to feel safe enough to share both his triumphs and his vulnerabilities without fear of judgment. The effect of consistent support extends far beyond the immediate moments of challenge. When a mature man knows someone is reliably by his side, he begins to feel more secure in his decisions and more confident in facing uncertainty. This emotional reinforcement reduces the need for constant self-protection and allows him to express himself more freely. He becomes more willing to communicate his thoughts, share his concerns, and invite collaboration in problem solving. This kind of support also inspires loyalty. A man who feels that his partner or close confidant genuinely cares for his well-being and respects his efforts naturally reciprocates with attention, consideration, and emotional investment. In this way, support strengthens not just the individual, but also the relationship itself. It becomes a silent bond that reinforces mutual understanding and encourages a deeper, more authentic connection that grows stronger over time. Support also fosters resilience in a mature man, allowing him to face life's obstacles with less internal conflict. Many men are accustomed to masking doubts or concealing struggles, believing they must maintain a facade of competence at all times. When someone provides thoughtful encouragement and reassurance, he begins to experience a rare freedom to be human. This creates a shift in his internal state, from tension and guardedness to openness and receptivity. Support does not diminish his independence, rather it enhances it by creating a stable foundation from which he can act confidently. It shows him that he is respected, valued, and understood. Over time, this emotional support strengthens the connection between him and those who offer it, encouraging deeper communication, mutual growth, and a sense of partnership that allows both people to thrive. It is a quiet yet transformative gesture that touches a mature man in a way few other things can.